Now, picture this. It's November 22nd, 2014, just days before Christmas. The chill of the Mandera dawn still clings to the air as your bus hums along the lonely Mandera-Nairobi highway. You are weary. Months of hard labor far from home have worn you thin, but today you are going home. Your wife rests her head on your shoulder. Most of the passengers, teachers returning for the holidays, share quiet jokes, their voices low under the soft rumble of the engine. Then it happens. A sudden crack slices through the morning air. Then another. Gunshots. The bus lurches as the driver peers ahead. Men on the road armed, their rifles raised. They wave the bus down, claiming to be police. But something feels wrong. The driver tightens his grip on the wheel and makes his choice. He floors the accelerator. The engine roars. The bus jolts forward, and for a heartbeat, you think you might escape. Then just ahead, another group of armed men emerges, lying in the road. Heavy weapons aimed straight at you. The driver's eye darts. There's nowhere to go. He hits the brakes, and the bus stops. And in that moment, you realize you're trapped. Within seconds, the armed men swarm the bus. They are Al-Shabaab militants. Cold, efficient, and ruthless. The leader shouts an order. Passengers are forced off, one by one, into the pale morning light. Then comes the command. Muslims to one side, and Muslims to another. Your heart sinks. You know what's about to happen. Some passengers try to hide their identity. A few Muslim passengers hand scarves to their non-Muslim friends, whispering hurried prayers for their lives. But the gunmen check names against identification card. There's no mercy. Passengers, including you and mostly Christian teachers and health workers, are separated. You watch frozen as you are lined up. The first shots tear through the air. People beside you drop instantly. Then, without warning, the man to your left takes a bullet to the head. The sound is sickening. Warm blood and pieces of brain hit your face, your shirt, your hands. Your instincts scream at you to run, but you know if you move, you're dead. So you let your body fall forward. You stop breathing hard. You keep your eyes half closed. You let the blood on your skin tell the gunman you're already gone. One of them stands over you. You can feel his shadow across your face. You hear the faint click of a safety being checked. Seconds drag like hours, and then he moves on. He thinks he has already dealt with you. You lie there still as the attackers fly on foot, disappearing into the bushes. And that, my friend, is the story of Douglas Ochuodo, one of the survivors in the 2014 Mandera bus attack.
28 people have been killed and several others injured as suspected Al-Shabaab militants attacked a public passenger bus in Mandera in northern Kenya. An official said a team of more than 100 armed men stopped the Nairobi-bound public bus and ordered everyone out and divided them into two groups of Somalis and non-Somalis. The non-Somali group was then sprayed with bullets. The officials also said initial reports indicate the attackers were Al-Shabaab from neighboring Somalia.
Within hours, images of the bullet-riddled bus flood Kenyan screens and social media feeds. Mandera, a dusty border county tucked into Kenya's far northeast, is suddenly at the center of the world's attention. So, Mandera sits at the very top of Kenya, sharing porous borders with both Somalia and Ethiopia. It's a remote, arid region, hundreds of kilometers from the capital. Here, the Mandera-Nairobi highway is more than just a road, it's a lifeline, but it also runs dangerously close to Al-Shabaab territory across the Somali border. For example, this is the region where the attack happened, close to the Somali borders, as you can see. Al-Shabaab, the Somalia-based militant group, has long threatened Kenya, angered by the Kenyan troops stationed in Somalia under the African Union mission. The Mandera bus was not a random target, it was a message: withdraw from Somalia or the killings will continue.
From that harrowing first-hand account, we now move to the government's own account about what happened after the attack. Deputy President William Ruto says members of the Al-Shabaab terror group who killed the 28 passengers in Mandera did not live to celebrate the murderous plot.
The government promises swift retaliation. Kenyan jets are deployed to strike suspected Al-Shabaab camps across the border. Security chiefs arrive in Mandera promising tighter patrols, but on the ground, fear spread faster than hope. Teachers and health workers, most of them from other parts of Kenya, begin packing their bags. They have seen the bodies. They know that they could be next.
The deputy president slammed some leaders he did not name of sympathizing with terrorists and warned the law would soon catch up with them.
It is not possible that any Kenyan leader can stand on the side of terrorists. Even as we as leaders across want to defend our religion, our community, our region, we must also remember that those who don't belong to our religion or don't belong to our community or don't come from our region are also Kenyan.
Religious tension emerges. Whispers spread faster than wind. Could Muslims be trusted? Were Christians safe? The attackers wanted this, a wedge between faiths in a region that has coexisted for generations. But in Mandera, the truth was more complicated. Many Muslim passengers had risked their lives to shield their Christian friends during the attack. But fear is a dangerous seed. The wounds of November 22nd had barely begun to scab over when the militants struck again. This time, the target wasn't a bus, it was a quarry. Just 9 days after the Mandera bus massacre, Kenya was hit again. This time, not on a highway, but in the middle of a work site, a remote quarry near Koromei, just outside Mandera town. Dozens of men had come here to cut stone, living in basic shelters by the quarry, most of from far-off counties, saving every shilling for their families. Their nights were quiet, until one changed everything. It was just after midnight on December 2nd, 2014. Gunshot tore through the darkness. Militants stormed the sleeping quarters and surrounded it, pulling workers from their beds. They were Al-Shabaab, and they came with a message. For years, the group had vowed to drive all non-Muslims from what they saw as Muslim land in Mandera, a county along the Somali border. Their aim was to scare Christians away, teachers, quarry workers, government staff, and leave the region under their influence. 36 men were executed on the spot, some by gunfires, others even more brutal ways. It was over in a minute, but the impact would last for years. By dawn, the country was in shock. Images of the quarry site flooded television screens. The air was thick with grief and fury. The opposition called for the resignation of the top security chiefs, accusing the government of failing to protect its people. In a rare move, Kenyan Police Chief David Kimayo stepped down. Interior Cabinet Secretary Joseph Olelenku was removed from his position the same day. Troops were deployed to Mandera, roadblocks went up. The government official promised tougher action against the militants, but many Kenyans asked the same question: why did it take 2 massacres in 10 days for real change to happen? From the Mandera highway to the Koromei quarry, The message from the attackers were clear. Nowhere was safe. 2 locations, 2 massacres, 28 killed in the first, 36 in the second. 74 lives lost in 10 days. For the survivors, those days remain a shadow they can never escape. For the nation, they were turning points, a wake-up call that the war on terror was no longer just across the border, it was here at home.